Today we are here revisiting our Coke versus water experiment to show the filtration process in real time and that it's not too good to be true.
And make sure to leave a comment, and you can be entered in our giveaway to get free hydrogen tablets. And if you have any questions, feel free to also drop them in the comments, and we'll make sure to get those answered for you today.
Yeah. And then before we get started, I'm going to introduce you guys to our amazing product manager, Chris. He is over all of the water products at Ultralux, and he will be facilitating the experiment today.
Yes, I'm excited. So I've been doing this for a while, being in the water space, and the Coke versus the water filter has been something that we've kind of always thought about, but we knew, or always kind of thought like that's probably going to damage the filter in the machine. We just never did it. And then one day we're like, let's just do it. So, and we wanted to see and kind of compare the other filters out there. So here is just a normal Brita tabletop filter. Here's some Coke Zero. It's fresh. You can hear the crack. There it is. So we will first start by getting our control. We'll just have this sit there for a moment. We'll pour some of this into here. So one unit we're using to measure parts of our experiment are TDS, or total dissolved solids. Basically, that's like how much stuff is in the water, and it measures it in parts per million. So if there was one TDS, that is 1 part sugar, for example, to 1,000,000 parts H2O. So we'll first get the TDS of just the normal Coke Zero, which I always do a few little flicks just to make sure I get get a good amount. So I'm holding there. You can see that we're at 363 TDS. So that's before it went through the Brita filter. Now let's get some of this. Just gonna All right, so now let's check this out. I don't think this is accurate because it is over double that, but that's because this is what the filter we used last time. So it still probably had some leftover crap in it. Maybe do you actually want to run this and just flush some water through it? Because currently, right now, it's reading 600 something, which is way more than what's going in. So that's on me. Should have got a brand new one, but we're just reducing, reusing, and recycling the same ones that we had before. Did you get that? Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. So here's our water machine. This one takes a few minutes to actually get it all filtered, but you can see it's brand new, never been used, empty. So I'm gonna pop that sucker in there. And just get some of that and let it go to town. Let me plug it in. Okay, so just want me to run a little flush. Hold on. I'll just cancel it real fast. And then this blinking light means it's actively filtering. So it's going to take a second to get some of that filtration going, but hold on. I didn't put enough in. Okay, so while that's filtering, let's just test this. This one also might need to be rinsed out quite a bit, but we'll just see. We'll see what happens. this happened last time where it didn't really come out very quickly. It also took its time filtering, but we'll see if anything comes out.
Go ahead and ask some questions
Yeah, shoot.
while we're waiting. Okay, what makes the Ultralux filter technology better than most?
Okay, this is a big answer. So to start, oh, great. Here, do you want to just put that back here? Thank you. Now that that's been flushed out, I'll just put a little bit more in, and while that goes, thanks. I'll just get some more of that in there. Okay, so water filtration. These two Brita filters are carbon filters. Carbon, just like, think of like a briquette almost, just like charcoal. It's like that same thing. So that's basically what it is. And as you can see, water can just fall through it. And it can be pretty good. It can get like big chunks of stuff. It can help with smells and odors and whatnot. You definitely want to at least have a carbon filter, if nothing else. So what makes this unit different is it uses reverse osmosis technology. So if you're unfamiliar, reverse osmosis is basically you have like a bunch of different membranes. They're semi-permeable, meaning like really like some stuff can get through. It's pretty much just like a mesh screen, but like on a microscopic level. I was just making noises. It's still just doing its thing. So yeah, just tons of layers. I came prepared. Ugh. Here is one of the filters cut open. So you can actually see all the different layers here. And then there's like the little mesh screens in between. But these membranes are pretty thick. I'll actually show you. This is kind of cool. So you can see my phone flashlight, and then over just a few layers, like you can't even really see it very well. So just imagine water being shoved through that at high pressure. So that's it. That's pretty much reverse osmosis, is just shoving it through really, really small mesh screens, basically. And another cool thing about the reverse osmosis filter is while it's filtering, it will actually flush the membranes while it's doing it to remove all the debris that are caught in the membranes so that it doesn't clog up. So with every RO system, you'll have an amount of wastewater, is what it's called. That's just discarded. That pretty much just cleans the filter from debris, and that's discarded. So this unit's kind of cool because you can have the drain line, or it can be recycled back into the external tank. Is this thing ready to go? Oh, it needs a little more. One sec. Oh, yeah. So the question I was answering was something about this being really good and why. Yeah, okay. Is it gonna go? I don't know if we got enough Coke. You want to run to the fridge and just grab a few more? Gracias. So that's RO in a nutshell. If you are familiar with reverse osmosis or have seen one or had one, it most of the time kind of looks like this, where they got the different cylinders, and then that water goes into one of these tanks. Familiar? Yes? So reverse osmosis is great because it will remove like 99.99% of contaminants. It's great. Now with that, it also removes the chemicals that the municipal water supply, like the treatment facilities, put in to kill and eradicate bacteria and microorganisms. So like chlorine, that's in your city water, which is good because it prevents nasty stuff from growing in it. However, when you put it through reverse osmosis, now that water is susceptible to mold and bacteria growth. So these white tanks are actually notorious for growing mold and nasty stuff inside. So With our system, it's tankless. So there's no tank that has all the clean water stored in it, which is awesome. To just remove that altogether. Yeah, we can add these, and then we'll also get a control of these, because this is the full sugar kind. So the TDS will be a little different. So in addition to not having a tank where the clean water is stored, it also has UV lights to kill bacteria and stuff, which is pretty awesome. Let me just get this. Here's the full sugar version of the Coke. Just get a few measurements of that. Okay, so roughly we're about 475 TDS, so a little more than the zero kind. So you can see that there, and we're at a little bit of a disadvantage on our unit because there's more TDS than these other ones because we ran out of the zero kind. That might be enough. No. Okay, hold on. The sensor might have gotten out of place. Let me just. Troubleshooting, folks, just some minor technical difficulties. There's a sensor back here in the tank that floats up. So when it's full, it'll match up with the other end of the sensor to let it know that. Do you want to grab the other tank? I've got Coke all over my hands. Yeah. There you go. Keep that on me all times. Never leave home without it. So you can see this one's starting to come through. I guess while they're doing that, we can measure the TDS in this one here. Bam. All right, this one's still running a little high at 391. I don't know if you can see that very well. 391. Okay. Oh, we don't need the whole unit. We just need the tank. So, empty tank, same thing, same Coke in there. I'm gonna try to pour it in here without making a huge mess. Anything? Is it changing? We'll play with it. Okay, now it's going again. Could I get a rag or something for my hand? I could just lick it off, but I'd be cross-contaminating TDSs. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing about our system. No tank, UV sanitation. Grazie. Yeah. What other questions? Okay, let me pass you the mic so folks at home can hear.
What are the benefits of hydrogen water?
Okay, so this is kind of a little silly question for some people because water, or H2O, it's like, well, it already has hydrogen in it, right? And yes, that is in the molecule, but it's not by itself. So we're talking about hydrogen gas, or just H2, the H2O minus the O. So it's really nice because hydrogen gas is actually a really strong and natural heavy antioxidant. So it goes through your body, eradicates free radicals. It can reduce inflammation, reduce oxidative stress. It can help, your skin look good. It can help with muscle recovery, and a few other things. There's over 1,000 studies out there on the benefits of hydrogen water. So look those up. You can actually find the white pages. Maybe we could drop like a link to somewhere so that they can find the source material and know that I'm not just saying this stuff. So yeah, hydrogen is really good for you. The therapeutic amount that you need to get the bare minimum like benefits from hydrogen is 0.8 ppm, that parts per million, right, that we talked about before. And our machines get up to 1.8, so over double that. So yeah, we get a good deal of hydrogen, and then the tablets, wherever they went, that we're giving away actually gets you up to 12 parts per million, which is a lot. They're great. If you're wondering if you can have too much hydrogen, of course, but this is not too much. Like you have to have like 10 of these to like get an overload of hydrogen, but a couple of them, like 1 to 4, is great. I usually have them when I have like brain fog or like I think I'm tired, but I'm actually not. My brain just is tired, and it's great. Good wake-up call. Better than, any energy drinks or whatever. Any other questions? Yeah.
So what does tankless versus tank mean with a water filtration?
Okay. So we touched on it briefly a little bit before. So with the old, or not old, but the other types of RO systems, pretty much, okay, it goes back a little further. So with RO, you have to have high amounts of pressure to force the water through those membranes, right? And that can take some time. Usually the water pressure is pretty low for that. So after the water has been cleaned, it comes into here and just sits and waits to be dispensed by, the faucet at the sink or wherever. So that's where the tank comes in. If you or someone has a reverse osmosis system and you run it for a while, you'll notice after a lot of water, like a couple gallons worth like this, then it'll just drop, like the water pressure drops to like just a little dribble. So that's what the tank is for, to prevent, or not prevent, but to combat that little dribble, so you can get a lot of clean water quicker. So with our system, we don't have that tank. Like we do have like the external tank, but that's just because it's not plumbed in. This holds the before water. This holds the after water. And the difference is the before water, like if you get it from your tap, has chemicals in it, such as chlorine, to kill bacteria and keep that at bay. The after water, like the RO filter, removes those chemicals and things to keep bacteria out or dormant. But now that the afterwater is in here, it's now susceptible to bacteria growth and mold, which these are actually notorious for. If you have an old one or have one, you can cut it open, see what's inside. They're gross. Next time I do it, I'll take pictures for you guys. This one hasn't been used, it's empty, so this one won't work. But that's what tanked versus tankless is. Any other questions?
What are the UVC technologies, and kind of how do they work, and why are they in?
Okay, so pretty much UVC, there's basically 3 schools of UV light: UVC, UVA, and UVB. If you have like a lizard, you need a UVB light so they can get those vitamins and whatnot from that UVB light. Now UVC actually kills bacteria, and how it does it is basically it overloads the DNA and RNA and either just obliterates them outright or just neutralizes them. So sometimes UVC lights won't actually kill all bacteria, but it will just mess with its DNA so much that it can't reproduce or really do anything. So it kind of just sits still and is just like a vegetable, basically. So that's kind of how that works. You don't really want to expose yourself too much to UVC light. I know there's like some hand sanitizer stations that use it and stuff, but just know that if you hold it under there long enough, like you can damage your skin. There's actually, this is a funny, dumb story, but oh, this looks like it's done. I'll get the story really fast because I think it's so hilarious. So the NFT group, Bored Apes Club, ridiculous. They hosted a party. It was in China somewhere, but they had like a huge concert, and some of the lights they used were UV lights. It was ridiculous. they didn't even know, but a lot of the members of the audience actually like got severe eye damage. Some of them went blind, some of them just like temporary blindness. But that's just because the UV rays were just killing the cells in their eyes. Anyways, super funny. Not really. Um, so now that it's done filtering, let's get some of this good sweetness of water, and look at that. It's clear. Now, that's just because of the RO. Basically, those membranes, think of it like the mesh screen, right? The microscopic pores are smaller than the particle size of the dyes and a lot of the other things. So let's test the TDS out of this real fast. Okay, can you see that? 92, right? Yep, 92. So that's pretty good. If this was just normal water, you'd kind of want to be between like 2 and 20, sometimes maybe 50. So this is kind of high for just normal drinking water TDS, but it's not bad, especially compared to the, the three, I guess it's more like 380 on average TDS, just because we added the full sugar and the Coke Zero. Let's give this a try. If you gave this to someone, we're like, here's some water, they'd be like, oh, it's nice water. But just because I know it's Coke, like, it doesn't taste like Coke, but there's like a little hint of an aftertaste almost. I mean, it tastes like water. It tastes like getting water out of a drinking fountain in Nevada or something. Like, it's not the best. But coming from Coke, that's pretty cool. Any other questions? No? Yeah.
Okay, thank you all for joining our live, and we just wanted to remind you to make sure you leave a comment, and we'll make sure to do the giveaway tomorrow of our free hydrogen tablets. And we hope you all learned something today, and we showed you that it's really not fake. This actually works, and it is a very good water filter. So thank you.